Aloha from Hawaii. If you're just now joining us, we're Darren and Monica Strong, and we have just relocated from Virginia, which for us meant we had to establish our food sources in a new location, totally new location. So we're doing something we have never done before, and we're sharing a grocery food haul with you for this week. Now, a lot of this food will not just be consumed this week, but we did do our full spread of shopping. And it also included another thing we have never done before. And that is that Darren and I have never gone to Costco before. But for the few items that we do get from a grocery store, or in Virginia, we used to get from Azure Standard, we do not have an Azure Standard drop here on Maui at this point yet. It's definitely a goal of mine to get set up, but that takes some logistics. So until then, we had been going to a grocery store, and it just was not cost effective for the amount of people in our family. We do have 8 children, and so we are a family of 10, and so we had to go to Costco. So that was fun. We went together. We took all the kids. We had 3 carts, and just to make sure all the littles were in carts. It was definitely a family experience. For today, we actually wanted to go through a little bit of food philosophy that we have in our family and kind of the journey that we've gone on with food. And if you are not at this point in this journey, please do not just cut this off and think there's nothing here. My journey started 13 years ago when I was pregnant with my first baby, and I was nursing this baby that we had created together, and you know, she was entirely perfect, and I had to start thinking about transitioning her to food. And for me, breastfeeding was extremely easy, convenient, in the sense that, I mean, I didn't have to mix anything. I didn't need any exterior source of food. I had all the food this baby needed, and so she got her food directly from the source. That started to become my lens for searching for the best food for my children. And honestly, that was like Pandora's box. At the time, I was working in a hospital, I was a nurse, and I was living extremely conventionally. And we will have to do a podcast on this, but my lifestyle was not reflective of any healthy eating. I had not done any research in regards to our food and diet and correlation to health until I had this first baby. And I started finding out so many things. But with that, this is to say, wherever you are on this journey, Darren and I always just want to teach you what we have learned and push you to just take the journey for yourself, whatever that may be, in whatever area it is. Do not stay the same. Pray that your mindset changes in whatever it is. Pray that God would change the way you think. Be open to change. Be open to learning deeper truths. Dedicate your life to being a lifelong learner. That truly is, with a humble spirit, the best way to completely transform your life and never look back. And that's what we did 10 years ago. And we just became completely formless. And we just said, we really started praying the prayer for God to change the way we think, for God to form our life, for the Lord to order our steps. And He honestly did just that, but in a lot of practical ways. And one of the first things that prayer was answered was actually in the realm of food, which sounds crazy, but unhealthy people are lots of things come with people that are not healthy. And that is, if you've ever experienced it, sickness can just totally take over your life, and it can steal your joy. It can make you tired. It can make you unmotivated. It can derail all of your plans. And let's just say lots of people know that. Lots of people in positions of power or business or in the business of taking control in certain areas, they know that unhealthy people are not fulfilled people that are strong and that can take control of their own home. And so food really was the first foundation for Darren and I. With that said, we have been at this, like I said, 10 years. And so our diet has changed so many times in that 10 years. You have to meet yourself where you're at today, make the changes you can make today. Maybe something I say today or show you will make a click for you or will resonate with you. And you just got to have grace for today and make the changes you can and go from there. Okay, so this week we have developed a relationship with a local farmer, and they do a CSA, which is a community supported agricultural box. And we actually get 2 shares from them per week with vegetables and some fruit. And so on this side, that's what this is. On this side, we have our Costco haul and also more on the floor. So we will just go through what we got from the local farmer, and then we'll move to Costco, and that's just a lot more things, and we can kind of talk through that. But for our CSA this week, this has been an incredible blessing because we like to layer our diet based on vegetables and fruit first. So a very plant alive food forward diet, especially since moving here where we have warm climate year round and we can eat fresh fruits and vegetables year round. We have noticed an extreme change in our energy level and how we're all feeling. The foods that with eating a predominant amount of alive fruits and vegetables from the local farmer, so they're grown here. That's a big deal. Like, local is a big deal. Whenever you think about consuming food, think about the proximity to your own home. So was this grown in your own garden bed? That would be ideal, right? Like right next to your own house. So you can do that very easily with some garden beds, some herb gardens, very small spaces. There's great YouTube channels and videos on how to do that. That would be ideal. We just moved, so we don't have that established yet. And so we found somebody within 10 minutes. Their business is growing fruits and vegetables and supporting the community through that agriculture. And so we want to jump on supporting that because they already had a system in place. They can provide us with pretty consistent fruits and vegetables. We're not relying on the inconsistency of our own growing. They can provide us with the amount we need for our family of 10. And so they have actually, Pono Grown Farm has actually been such a huge blessing to us. And so that's the first thing we always get every week. Every Wednesday and Friday, we pick up our shares, and that is the foundation of our food for the week. So what I will do is we'll actually get our shares, and I will see what is in season or what is there this week. And that will be the foundation of my menu for the week. So I will then use that as what we're cooking. So from Pono Grown this week, we got some fresh avocados. We have these huge buttery ones. This was actually from a marketplace local girl who had citrus in her backyard. So some pomelo, some oranges. Addie constructed a snowman out of citrus. Okay, back to the CSA though. We got 3 herbs of each. So this week he had oregano, rosemary, and parsley. We got 3 of each. Huge fresh bunches of kale. We got 2 bunches. Snap peas were this week. That was exciting. Radishes. Fennel, which we've been using in salads and soups. We've got rainbow chard, a big bunch of rainbow chard, turnips, cauliflower. These are new, so this was exciting. We got some baby eggplant. We've got some delicious mushrooms. We'll use that tonight, actually, in an Asian dish. And then huge bunch of lettuce, huge bunch of lettuce. So that right there was the CSA. Okay, now local. So locally we have papayas kind of in abundance, which is amazing. But sadly, papayas have become a genetically modified fruit, and even more so sadly, they were genetically modified at the University of Hawaii, I believe. So totally against the state motto of perpetuating the land in righteousness, because anything that is genetically modified, you want to totally stay away from. You do not want to consume that. And the sad part is they do pretty much think that it has contaminated the other varieties that are not genetically modified. But nevertheless, we do eat papaya here, but we just make sure they're not genetically modified. So these are strawberry papaya, and they are not the varieties that are genetically modified. The kids begged for mangoes because they definitely thought they were going to be able to eat mangoes right away when we landed here. But so I let them get those. So now we're going to move into kind of the Costco stuff. So I'm going to clear out the fresh fruits and vegetables, and we'll talk about what we got at our Costco haul. Okay, so from Costco, I want to show you what we got, but this will likely be a monthly trip, very much like we used to get our Azure standard order once a month. And this is going to be to stock up on things that are really pantry items, storable items. And a lot of this is just a good way to stock your pantry, feel comfortable about having food tucked away, and then continue to make connections in your community for food or to plant your own gardens to make yourself more sustainable. So this is definitely pulling, Darren and I are all about pulling from both ends. If you are looking to just, only get things sustainably and like not depend on the systems that are in place, yes, that is a very real desire and reality that we do need to be conscious about, but it can't run and rule our lives in the sense of fear that, we have to make everything be sustainable and local. Because the reality is, it honestly will rob your joy in the moment. It really will rob so much time. Okay, so for condiments, we got some olive oil. We love this variety, Arbequina. They had this special. We got some wing sauce, a double pack of organic ketchup, this organic virgin coconut oil. You always want to make sure it is unrefined and cold pressed. You don't want it to use hexane gas. Okay, we got these because so often this is cut with different oils, but this only had extra virgin olive oil and pure olive oil. That was huge. So we got these sun-dried tomatoes. We got organic ghee. And again, for us, Costco is really this size of things is the same price or less than the store with like small stuff. Have you guys ever heard the Bon Man story from the Holocaust? You should look it up. But because of that, some people speculate it's not true. I'm going with it's true. And we buy 1 jar of Bon Man every time we're at the store. Mayonnaise. Okay, I love to make my own mayonnaise, but sourcing local eggs here has been very difficult. So we have had a lot less eggs than usual. And you want to only eat mayonnaise that is made with usually I've made mine with MCT oil, but if you're going to buy it from the store, avocado oil. The small one of this at the grocery store was $25. This whole jar at Costco was $9.99. It's truly just mind-blowing. This came in a 2-pack. It was amazing. I've never seen this, and I've also never bought it. So I'm extremely excited to use this. This large jar of olives. Honestly, because of the amount of fruit and vegetables we're consuming, we're eating lots of things like Mediterranean. We can make it that way, and Asian kind of menu inspired things, and it's been delicious. So the olives we're super excited about. I bought, and I didn't put all the bags up here, but 3 bags of these sweet onions. We love sauteing onions and putting them into a variety of dishes. So I'm actually gonna put those down now because they're huge. Same thing with jasmine rice. Usually I do get organic. They did not have that as an option. So I chose to still get 3 bags, 3 25-pound bags. So we have 75 pounds of rice right off the jump. So that's a little bit securing. It feels like the pantry is a little stocked. Not anything like we had it back in Virginia, but that's okay. So we're starting off. So we got 3 of these bags. We bought this bag. These are grown here on Maui. This huge bag of limes, which was awesome. We use limes a lot in salad dressing and fresh drinks that Darren makes, garden drinks. We love them. Lots of herbs, fresh lime, lilikoi, and some either tequila, the local tequila that's made here, or that's about it. And shaken up over ice, delicious. Sometimes we do fresh limes in the water. Okay, we got tons of bananas. I'm not putting them all up on the counter. We did have a bunch over here. So the bananas, very interesting. This just goes to show you a lot about our food system at its current state. These bananas were grown here on Maui, and they had them available, and we were so excited. I had already loaded up on just a bunch of organic bananas that I knew were imported before I saw that they had some that were local. So then I go to grab all these local apple bananas that are grown here, sourced here, and these were $3 more per pound than the imported bananas from somewhere else. And so that really is confounding to the mind. We have this store here on Maui. They're sourcing food that's grown here on Maui, and it's significantly more expensive to buy the local than it is to buy what was shipped here on a barge. Yeah. And this is true also on the mainland. You know, they bring in food from other places, clearly not in the US, and it is significantly cheaper than any of my local farmers, any local producers. One has to start asking the question as to why. I mean, that just is an extremely broken system. And honestly, it just should tell you there needs to be some effort wherever you are, whether that is an apartment or a place with a lot of land. You have to start putting some kind of food sourcing in your own yard. And even if that is an apartment, you can still use your patio for a lot. People use tower gardens. They do an abundant amount of growing in small spaces. That's not this video, but it is a physical, tangible example to show you how fractured our food system is in this country and how important it is to pull from both ends, to secure something for yourself in your own yard, in your own control, in your own power, and, you know, buy from the store when you have to, but just keep working from both ends, or at least find people locally if you're not in the place to grow anything. definitely find people locally that you just start cultivating relationships now when things are really good and they are looking for people that want to support them. And honestly, that's like with our local farmer, that's their business. And so I am so happy to support him weekly because that's supporting his family and they're supporting mine by, giving us food we're just not able to grow yet. But with that many bananas, we are going to break them up, freeze them, and use them for smoothies every morning. So our focus every morning usually is to have a huge green smoothie. If you saw this morning, that's pretty much what we love starting the day with, if at all possible, to just make that the focus, because we can put so much greens in and the kids eat more kale, chlorella, Saiwan prash, just so many things that I can never get them to sit down and eat a bowl of, but they will absolutely drink it in smoothie form. So that's super important to us. Okay, Addie, we got all the baking stuff. I'll kind of do that last. Let's talk about honey. I got 3 of these. These are from the Big Island. So I have already met somebody here locally, and we're gonna get the honey from them, but their hives are not ready for another month or 2. So I just wanted to have something in the cabinet to stock up. Honey is, if you didn't know, it is the longest shelf-stable food there is. So you can just stock up on honey. Go ahead, buy 12 jars, stock your pantry up for the month. For the year. And it's just something that you can kind of, check off the mental list and kind of feel some peace about, but it stays good longer than anything else. So honey is gold. And we bought 3 of these they're here local. They're not local to this island, but they're local to the Big Island. I missed this. So we got 4 cartons actually of dates. We love dates with peanut butter as a snack and some hemp seeds on top. We love them in our smoothies. Soak them in water overnight in a jar in the fridge, and they're like caramel. It's like a caramel sauce, and you can add that to nut milks or smoothies. They're divine. And then these bags of apples, multiple bags of apples. They don't grow apples here. Apples are strictly imported. It was just too hard to say no to the kids. They've been wanting apples for so long because it is apple season in Virginia, and we usually get apples from the local orchards, and they're really missing apples. So I said yes. So we got some jam. Peanut butter and jelly is a go-to for the beach, for just snack food for the beach. So they had this in a 2-pack, and we got that. That was amazing. We bought 10 of these. And let me tell you about peanut butter. I know there are people that are, for a myriad of reasons, don't do peanut butter, but this is super important. Made in the U.S. Whenever you're buying peanut butter, you want it to say peanuts and sea salt. That is all you need. But in every single peanut butter, palm oil has been added. And even in all the organic ones, palm oil, you don't want to eat that stuff. So you want to look at your label to what says that. Peanuts and sea salt. When I saw that, I was so excited, so I bought 10. Okay, same with pasta. Not all pastas are created equal. I never want to eat a pasta that has enriched flour. That means they've added things to it. You just don't want to eat that. This is made with 100% durum semolina wheat, okay? And it's also a product of Italy. This is a big deal. They do not allow the hybridized wheat the way America does. Their tomatoes, this is why I also get this sauce. This is a product of Italy. Let's see, right here. Product of Italy. They do not allow these additives to their tomatoes the way the US does as well. So a lot of people that cannot eat tomato products in the US, they can eat things made in Italy. Same with pasta and breads and pizza. People say, oh, I went to Italy and I was, I could eat these things. Their wheat is not the same as ours, sadly. They have standards. So many times when I take the kids shopping, obviously, and especially my kids, they just see everything. They want it all. And so this is one of my things I said yes to. They love dried mango. I severely limit it now, and because it's just eating any kind of gummy thing like that is just not great on their teeth. And we've had cavity issues, and I know a lot of it is because of things like this, just dried fruit. But with dried fruit, I never get dried fruit with sugar added. You don't want to do that. And so this is just, the ingredients are just organic dried mangoes. So that was amazing. We've got some girls coming to help with the kids and stay with us for 6 weeks. So we're super excited, but they don't do dairy. And so I saw this. Elmhurst is an awesome brand. And this was 2 for the price of what we would normally pay for 1 in the store. So I grabbed this. And more of that Italian pasta. We will do this in pasta salads, like a Mediterranean pasta salad with olive oil, these Kalamata olives, some of the fennel we got from the farmer, maybe a little bit of mayonnaise, and then the fresh herbs. That is a delicious pasta salad. You can even add in some frozen peas, and it'll stay cold if you take it to the beach. By the time you're eating it, it's delicious. All right, they have this organic sprouted pumpkin seeds. These are great on salads, or really probably salads is where we would use this, or avocado toast. Hemp hearts, same thing, smoothies, avocado toast, dates and peanut butter. These are just a great topping. And we call anything like this with the kids, we call them sprinkles, and that just makes eating them 10 times more fun. Cinnamon, I laughed when I saw this. We use a lot of cinnamon in our house, but I laughed to myself, because I remember being a nurse, being pregnant with my first, and I had a best friend at the time. And we would drink our coffee with International House Coffee Creamer, and we would go to, the local place to get like a fire grilled burger after church, and we just did not eat healthy at all. Well, I remember she started making the shift before me when it came to food and researching it, because she was dealing with a chronic illness, and she really tried to start researching how to heal herself. And I totally made fun of her. And the thing that I made fun of her about was, I opened her cabinet and I saw that she had organic spices, but specifically the first one I pulled out was organic cinnamon. I said to her, organic cinnamon? Are you kidding? Organic everything? Like what? Organic is so different with cinnamon than it wasn't. Than if it wasn't organic. Just so funny when you're young, you're so arrogant about some things. You think you know everything in your 20s. That's definitely the way I was. And so I almost bought this out of nostalgia, because I have personally come so far in my health journey, and I just hope that anyone can learn and glean from me, even the arrogance part. Like if you think you're just, better, and you think people are silly for watching what they eat, or eating organic if they can, or local farmer, or raw milk, and you're just making fun of people, it's like you're going to be humbled one way or another. Organic cacao powders for hot cocoa, which is delicious. Maple syrup with that, and maybe some homemade marshmallows. More dates. They had a different brand, so we got a couple bags of these. We can't grow garlic here, but this is a bag of garlic. I was so excited about it. Lots of garlic when we eat. We got some jerky sticks for the beach. I got beach snacks. We will put them in a beach only cabinet so that they're just not eaten normally. And then for baking, Addie is a huge baker. Our family loves baking. Chapman makes the best cinnamon rolls ever. We have a kids baking show coming out. We're so excited about it. And the kids are gonna be sharing with you all the things they love to bake and maybe teaching your kids. And so we got this huge organic cane sugar, organic brown sugar, and organic flour here, all for the price of what we bought the small bag at the local grocery store for. So we truly were blown away with the amount we could get at Costco. All right, last I got this Manuka honey that was on an end cap. I am a sucker for Manuka honey. It is great to have in your apothecary, and we'll do a whole series on building an apothecary out, but that is a great thing. I grab it when I can. So this was our grocery haul this week. This is a lot of stuff. It will probably be used over the month or longer for our family of 10, but hopefully you learned something. Last thing. These are awesome, organic dried blueberries. If you want to make blueberry scones, you want to use the dried blueberries. We use the frozen sometimes, but it will turn your batter completely purple. And so if you want your scones to come out pretty like a bakery and you don't want them to be totally purple, get the dried blueberries, okay? These are awesome. Okay, thank you for joining me for this grocery food haul for the week. What was not shown here was our local farmer. We get raw milk from once a week, and we get 6 chicken a month. That's it, and that is pretty much how we have built our food structure here in Hawaii, and we're so thankful for the local producers that we can support their family, and in a pinch hit, run down to Costco for the month until we can set something else up. But hopefully this gave you some kind of value that you can learn something, or maybe you would switch something up for your own family. But thanks for joining me here in my kitchen. Have a great day. We'll see you next time. Aloha.